Well, hello, my soul friends. I had to just come on here. We have a full moon, a strawberry full moon happening on June 11th at 12:44 a.m. midnight on June 11th. And I've been kind of on a hiatus, but this full moon is calling me forward, and I know, or I believe at least, it's going to call you forward, expanding your potential, your possibilities. It's a juicy full moon offering up all of these beautiful life possibilities, huge, bountiful possibilities, so that we can expand our potential and savor this life experience. Okay, so I honestly, I've been just kind of checked out for a while, really trying to gather myself, being with what's going on in the world, shaking up some old things in my inner world that I've been just focusing on, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Anybody else out there, as we navigate, especially as my people who are on this channel with me, I don't like to say followers, people who enjoy a video here and there, or my clients, we tend to draw in people who are similar to us at a soul level and at an expression of our soul, right? So I have a lot of empaths, fellow sensitive, highly sensitive individuals who are feeling things very strongly. So I'm not going to talk about all of that. I did a video letting you know what's going on with me just about a week ago, so go watch that one. And thank you for all my loyal viewers who've stayed with me as I stepped away, put my toe back in the water. I have to with this beautiful full moon in Sagittarius. It feels like we're being called to not hide, called to come forward, to speak our truth, to expand into those possibilities, to take a new adventure. There's a lot going on with this full moon, so I'm going to do my best to cover what catches my attention intuitively, offer what comes through me. I'll tell you a few things just at the top. We've had so many planetary shifts. This is why 2025 is such a big year. We've got, lots of, pretty much all the major planets are in a new sign, right? So let me touch on that. We started this new year switching the nodes, and I'm talking about this because this full moon is squaring the nodes of destiny, right? I love that. It's just like, ooh, what does this mean? Well, it's about us getting on track with our potential, right? So the North Node moved into Pisces in January of this year, inviting us to be into like a spiritual journey, a spiritual adventure, bringing our vision into more purpose, shedding the South Node in Virgo, shedding the human experience of perfectionism and pushing yourself too hard, being hard on yourself. I'm listening to this one. So this nodal shift is like sets us up for sort of how we're moving with the cosmic weather, if you will, the unfolding through the symbolic language of astrology that helps us personally and collectively evolve to higher possibilities, right? I wanted to say this about, I've been a student of astrology since I was a kid. It helped me navigate my life, my family, the world, especially if you're someone who really identifies with really being in your soul essence more than the human experience. It's like, how do I navigate this, right? I think this is a gift from Creator to help us navigate, right? And to remind us, like, we're going to be okay. We go through cycles of growing, evolving, integrating, right? So what I wanted to say about my studies in astrology is I'm a curious being. I've studied all different kinds of astrology. And just like the same way that I cook a meal, I love cooking. I call it fusion cooking. I take a little bit of, Asian seasoning, a little bit of, Mexican seasoning. I just mix it up. So it's fusion cooking. And so I was thinking that is what this is for me. Maybe I should change my title to fusion astrology, but that's not my main focus. My main focus is supporting anyone who relates to this. You are a soul having a human experience, and the human experience is where we get challenged. We can get constricted in fear and doubt, anxiety, worry, all that human stuff. But from a soul perspective, we trust and know that everything is unfolding as it need be. There's something greater happening. And so I like to think about the balance. Most of my videos are about transformation, about sacred awareness, about compassion, about nurturing. And I occasionally do an astrology video, usually, new moon, full moon. I was starting to do weekly, but I started that right at the verge of about a burnout. And so I was like, nope, too much, back it up. I may do that again because I love looking at the week ahead and helping others navigate it. So anyway, back to this full moon. I want to say, pause a moment, check in with yourself as you're listening to this video. And I love and thinking of a client right now who tells me that she would watch my videos every day before work or before her meditation or something. And what an honor. So I know you know who you are. Thank you for anyone who takes the time to be with me. I know I've been sporadic here. I practice what I preach, right? I was beginning to feel inauthentic and posting all of these videos and everything when I was having an inner storm. And so that required my attention. I had to be the soul nurturer for my own soul, right? So I'm feeling better. I'm rising back up. I'm here. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. Okay, subscribe if you haven't. If this is the first time you've clicked on one of my videos, go watch some other videos. Go to my website at victoriajazwick.com. Consider a 20-minute consult with me. We can look at your chart. We can talk about what's going on with you. I think of myself as just a companion that walks alongside of you, who's walked down many transformational paths that I can help you with what you're navigating, okay? All right, so what have you been feeling? What have you been noticing? On this day that I'm recording, June 9th, Jupiter has moved into Cancer. So we have all these, I was saying, major planets in new signs. Neptune and Saturn are now in Aries. Pluto, as we know, in Aquarius. We're starting to move towards the how do we transform so that we are more connected and lifting humanity and inspiring innovative change that serves all of humanity, right? But also, what other? Oh, so Uranus will be going into Taurus in July. This big shifts. So Jupiter in Cancer now. I feel like, well, first of all, this full moon and a full moon. Let me just slow down. I'm getting ahead of myself. Most of you know that a full moon is when the sun and the moon are in opposition, 180 degrees apart. This is why we get to see the full moon on a clear night, because the sun is reflecting off of the moon. The moon does not emit its own light. Isn't that interesting? But it's a beautiful reflector. And we get to see the light reflected back during a full moon that reflects us, that reflects on us and illuminates what we need to see. Full moons expand. It's a culmination point. It's like whatever you've been working with, say with the last new moon 2 weeks ago, or the new moon 6 months ago. That's been, okay, this is your intention. You're growing, you're cultivating, you're moving towards the possibility of what your heart and soul desires. But that could culminate. But a full moon also, I like to borrow from Reverend Michael Beckwith, will reveal what needs to be healed. It will reveal all that you need to see that has you blocked or off path, disaligned from your soul potential, your wisdom, your authenticity. I think, as a fusion astrologer, yes, we're evolving, we're growing, evolving. But then we look at the archetypal expression of what each lunation cycle is inviting us to borrow the energy, to remember we all actually have all these signs in our chart, somewhere in your natal chart. So it's like activating that part of your chart. So with this full moon in Sagittarius, you're going to look at where 23 degrees of Sagittarius is in your chart. whatever house system you use. If you use whole sign, you're going to look at where Sagittarius starts that house. Just go there. That's the easy way. I like Placidus or Porphyry. It's more exact in my mind. So you'll go to wherever 23 degrees of Sag is. That's where the moon is illuminating that house. And whatever that house it's in, the archetypal expression of that house, the archetypal expression of Sagittarius expanding. It's the philosopher, the master teacher that wants to illuminate now with this full moon ways for you to expand, shed. We think of that with a full moon too, a shedding, a letting go, and that sometimes is with tears. Sometimes people get more emotional. It depends on the moon for me, but yeah, it can draw out. Think of how the moon, is connected to the ocean tides. It's connected to our inner tides too. So we can draw forward tears to cleanse and clear and release us from what is not aligned with our soul path. Okay. So full moon in Sagittarius, which means we're still in Gemini season, right? Gemini season is about a month, but it's not like the month from the 1st to the 30th. It's from the first day the sun is in the sign of Gemini. And so in this case, that starts in May and will end on June. Is it the 20th this year? Maybe the 19th, summer solstice, when the sun moves into Cancer, right? So it's about a month, but it's not a calendar month, right? So, but we're still in Gemini season. Jupiter was in Gemini, just moved into Cancer today as I'm recording this. So we've felt this full moon already because Jupiter in Gemini was, anybody exhausted from all the ideas you got and all the classes you signed up for? I'll tell you, I signed up for so many classes that I have yet to go back and watch the videos for, because it was kind of like grow time, growing your passion, your purpose, what brings you joy. And for such a time as this, we need to cultivate our joy. So I signed up with so many classes because learning and expanding out of limited spaces is what I love. That's what this full moon is about. Expanding and growing out of limited spaces. All the ideas you had from a year ago, from when Jupiter went into Gemini a year ago, all that like swirling mental stuff, now is the time, because Jupiter's in Cancer, to catch yourself, to nurture those ideas, to nurture your potential. This is what I'm all about. So that's why I had to talk about this full moon. To nurture your potential, to find home and place in your own heart, to find where you belong. I know that with the last year or so for me and a lot of people I support, it's felt very scattered, very confusing, because there was so much flooding us, right? And we were flooded by the news. We were flooded by the dynamic of what's happening in our government. We were flooded by what's next and ideas. That Jupiter and Gemini and also Gemini season, really, I love to tell my clients, it's like having all your files open on your computer. It's overwhelming, right? So now that this full moon, we could see what files are open that are just draining us, dragging us down, not helping, hindering us, in fact, holding us back. And I just feel like this full moon is like it's playful. It's an invitation back to what brings you joy. It's an invitation back to your truth, to seeing the bigger picture and not just being stuck and mired in the small details of life, but to go, okay, take 1, 2, or 3 ideas that you've been thinking about, not all of them, you can go back to those, and expand them. And also I would say, close your eyes and say, which one is most aligned with my true self, my soul essence, right? Which one brings me the most joy? Okay. So moon in Sagittarius, yeah, I think, and think about too, like the axis of Gemini, Sag. Gemini is the researcher, the fact finder, loves to learn, loves to talk, talkative. Sagittarius is take those kernels of truth and let's expand it to possibilities. Now, I will say with Sagittarius, the blessing and the challenge is the optimism can be so big. I could do anything. I'm going to do this. I'm going to speak my truth to everyone. But I would just say this cautionary reminder to check in with your soul before you do anything next, or a good friend, say you feel called to something. And there may be a desire to go speak your truth and to do the new thing. Sagittarius moon is about, the bold new adventure, the exciting new possibility, right? So pause, check with your body. Is this a yes? Check with your soul, check with a good friend. I'm thinking about doing this, because you don't want to miss any steps. You want to pause a minute to ground that idea. And we now have Venus in Taurus will help you with that, to ground in what you love, what you're passionate about, so you can take practical, wonderful steps towards whatever this full moon is illuminating for you. We have a square. The moon is squaring the north and south node. So, to me, this is squares can be friction, but also friction to create a spark, to create action. So maybe you felt stuck somewhere. I know that I haven't wanted to do videos, but I'm feeling this call back. Something's sparking. My soul is igniting again, right? So, but it can feel like a struggle. It can feel like a pull between past and future. And it's about, and this is connected to the full moon, but with this square, it's amplified. Releasing what doesn't belong in your future. Habits, beliefs, sometimes people, sometimes, and that, I know that sounds harsh, but here's the thing: you can release people because you're releasing old patterns, old habits, old ways that they may keep you kind of too familiar in. But when you firmly place your feet on the new earth that you are standing on, that you want to live and have you moving your being through, where, say, people from the past can't go there with you. They don't want you to go there because that means they have to change. But maybe someday they'll meet you there, or you'll backtrack and you'll be strong enough to do that because you can invite them forward if they want to be invited forward on a new path, a new journey, and some people don't. So another thing I want to say about Moon and Sag is that your truth isn't everybody's truth. That's, Moon and Sag, or Sagittarius people, Sagittarius energy, or rising Sag, you believe your truth is the truth. And it is for you, but it's not for everyone. And we can be a little righteous there. And I know I have Venus and Mars and Sag, so I know I can get in that, get on a soapbox and just want to invite everybody to what's working for me. But recognizing it doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone else, okay? So yeah, what habits, what needs to be released that you cannot adventure forward with? You're carrying, you're carrying a lot of old baggage. Now think about, I just took a wonderful trip to Georgia and then to North Carolina for a conference. And initially I had packed 2 suitcases, and I thought that wasn't enough. I wanted to pack another one. And I pared it down to 1 suitcase and 1 carry-on. But how much old luggage, old baggage are you dragging behind you? You're not going to be able to travel where you want to travel with this full moon. In Sagittarius, it's saying, release, lighten up, find your joy, find your juicy passions and purpose and possibilities, and trust that you have enough to go where you're desiring to go. And if you don't have what you need when you get there, you'll get it when you get there. And that's metaphoric. I'm not talking about literal, okay? Or both. If you're going on a vacation soon and you're worried about not having enough, trust you have enough and you'll get what you need when you get there, okay? So this full moons always encourage us to, get to the edges of our being and to look where we want to expand and grow. But this one in particular with Moon and Sag, expand and grow past your comfort zone. And this is difficult because our comfort zones is what have kept us safe. And in order to grow, which this full moon in Sagittarius is inviting you to do, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So expand your vision. And it may look like, to be honest about where you are and what's not working, and what would work better. And then look at what's the vision. I think of Sagittarius holding the higher vision, the higher potential, and vision board, or just have a little daydream about what does it look like? What does it feel like for you to expand out of your comfort zone, for you to no longer hide, for you to stand in your purpose and your power and, your own philosophy, your own truth. Again, it's not to change anybody else's, but to say, I authorize this belief. I authorize what I'm doing. I'm not waiting for approval from you, or you. Just go. It's go. Go and grow. I wanted to talk about, well, let me just look at the chart, because there were a couple things I thought were interesting. And I kind of was just looking at it cold. I mean, I literally decided like 30 minutes ago I was going to do a video today. So, okay, I had to get out of my own head about, there's so many people offering great intuitive astrology. What's, all that. Any of you ever do that? You talk yourself out of your joy, out of your purpose? This full moon in Sagittarius is saying, knock that off. Stop it. Don't do that. And I'm here to tell you the same, okay? So what have we got? The other things, I wanted to mention, well, the squares to the nodes. You could, journal this with a prompt. Where am I out of alignment with my destiny, my purpose, what I'm here to contribute? And just let the pen move across the page. Come clear. Let your honesty flow. This is a time for us to really trust what we, our own intuition and our, what's best for us. I just had a session with a spiritual director, I'll say, good friend, but I called on her to hold space for me as a spiritual director, because I've been struggling with a couple of things that are, and as I said to her, and I say to my husband when he wants me to make plans, like, what are we going to do in I'm like, you know what? I can't plan 2 months ahead right now. I'm still shedding who I was. I have yet to emerge who I am, to stand in the truth of what I know to be true for me. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 2 months. And it's in this shedding, she gave me some great reflection about boundaries that have been hard for me to set. And I always think of a boundary is like, the little fence around a garden. So as you're planting those seeds of possibility, no one's going to trample through your garden and step all over what you're trying to grow. So I've had to set some boundaries recently, and I've been in kind of a cocoon so I could grow more potential, so I could evolve to what's next and what I'm called to offer in new ways. And I'm speaking to that because of Saturn conjunct Neptune. It's like Saturn wants us to stabilize, have boundaries. And remember, they're both in Aries. There's so much energy calling us to individuate, to claim our wholeness, to claim all that we've suppressed and denied so we can be who we were created to be. Saturn wants us to create boundaries around that. If people are not honoring who you are and who and what you're emerging, there's a boundary there. Boundaries are not rejection, they're protection and they're love. But this is such a powerful time to be visioning for what are you here to do, right? And to be honest about it. Are you happy in the career you're in? Have you felt like you want to move on? Are you happy in the relationship you're in? Is it time to speak truth about what maybe you've been denying and your partner doesn't even know it's part of your passion because you're afraid to speak your truth? This is really that time to say you're willing to say what you need to say, do what you need to do, to take the grand adventure of your own soul potential, okay? Let me know if any of this is resonating with you. There's a lot going on. I hope you are being gentle with yourself, taking a step out when you need to, like I needed to. Find ways to nurture yourself every day. With Jupiter and Cancer, expanding, family stuff, connection with mother, and I work with a lot of young women who have mother wounds. So stuff can be expanded that needs to be healed, but ultimately you're going to hold space for yourself, sacred, nurturing space. Like, just put your hand over your heart and just tap your own heart and say, I've got you. I'm here. I'm listening and I'm loving you and I'm going to nurture you forward. You're talking to all the parts of yourself, but especially your inner child or inner children. There's not like one inner child that comes forward when I do this work. Sometimes your 5-year-old shows up and then another time it's your 7-year-old. But you're offering yourself what you needed as a child, expanding that and saturating yourself in that, letting every cell of your body be saturated in nurturing and in unconditional love so your potential can grow, so you can feel like, I can step forward. I can take this journey. I can speak my truth, because you can, and you must, because this is your life. These are your possibilities. Oh, I'm getting choked up. Okay. Okay, I think I covered mostly what I wanted to cover. There's some spicy things happening. We've got Venus and Pluto are in a square. So what you love, financial stuff, brings up passion. I really feel like it's a connecting to your power where you've been suppressed in relationships. Really just grounding with this Venus and Taurus, grounding in all that you love, that anchors you, that allows you to be you. Root into that. Root into your own inner security and invite people to meet you there. And I'm going to teach you this little technique I came up with, and I'm going to wrap it up because I think I've said enough and I want to keep it under 30. But I call it inviting people who can to get current with you, especially with this full moon expanding you. And people are going to want you to bring it down a notch, or you're being too much. No, be as big as you want to be. And nurture that potential. Be your own loving mother, own loving parent, encourager. But people may say, you're not who you used to be. This is a compliment. Take it as a compliment. Or you're so different. I can't even connect with you. That's a compliment too. It's a matter of how you interpret it. But what you want to notice is that they're saying, really, I can no longer relate to you because you've changed and I haven't. And or I don't know how to meet you where you are. So you invite them. I call it getting current with me. And this is what it sounds like. You'll say, I know that in the past, I taught you that I would be the fixer, the people pleaser, the one that you could vent on and take all the stuff in, and I would handle it. But that's not who I am anymore. So I want you to get current. I invite you to get current with who I am and where I am. This is sort of true for me right now as it comes. And where I am, I invite you. Where I am is I'm honoring both what's going on in the world and in my inner world. I'm needing to talk about it. I'm needing to share about it. I'm desiring to heal it in partnership with friends, those who want to have those conversations with me. And I'm also, where I am currently, is I require a lot more space for time of reflection. I know this is different, but I want you to meet me where I am because I love you and all that, right? So do you get what I'm doing here? Where are you now? Who are you now? This full moon's going to expand that for you, and you're also going to see what you need to be willing to shed, release, get rid of that old baggage. You can't take it where you're going. And I'm remembering now that the reason why angels can fly is because they take themselves lightly. Let's expand that to they let go of things that are weighing them down to take themselves lightly on that new adventure. So my earth angels, let it go. Stand in your truth. Stand in your power. Nurture and wrap your arms around your own potential. And really practicing good self-care. Being at home in yourself, having ritual and routine to support you in growing towards all that is possible for you. Put yourself on a timeout when you need one. Take a nap, have some cookies and milk after. This is all about self-parenting that potential. All right, I hope this made sense to you. Let me know what your takeaways are. I stepped away. I'm just warming back up, but I'll be back more consistently, I promise. Let me know where you're viewing from. Let me know if you have any questions. I am taking new clients at this time, a few, and I'm offering those free 20-minute consultations. Go to victoriajazwick.com, sign up for a session, or because you're worth it, or go ahead and just request that 20-minute consultation. All right. Peace be with you as you are navigating whatever you are navigating. You're not alone. Know that you are loved. Trust that all will be well. All right. Take good care. Until next time. Bye.